Hello, I'm Sherry Sturman, Director of Crayola Education. I'm excited that Harper Kids is helping Crayola bring you today's Art of Learning program. Art helps children learn about themselves and others. Today, we're going to enjoy a story about food and friendship, where we meet a brave Polynesian child called Punky. So gather your students or your family, grab some art supplies, and get ready for an hands-on learning session. I'm thrilled to introduce today's guest, AuthorSharTuiasoa, whose incredible art can be found in art galleries, wall murals, book illustrations, even chocolate bar wrappers. Everything she creates features her iconic sunny palette and is often brimming with lush tropical foliage. Char, we are so excited to learn more about your background and what inspires your art. Please tell us about your artistic journey that started as a child when you would follow your mother to her art classes. How did this influence your career decisions and lead you to forming the Punky studio?
My artistic journey, as you said, did start a long time ago. My mom was also studying to be an illustrator when me and my siblings were very young, and she didn't have anyone to watch us. So she would kind of take us with her to her art classes here just at our local community college. And her art teacher was wonderful, and he would set us up on the drawing horses out in the corner, give us crayons, and we just kind of drew and pretended to follow along. And that was my introduction into the art world. So that was a huge influence for me. Being a kid and seeing art being studied and appreciated by adults, for me, my introduction to art was that it was very much an adult thing too. It wasn't just something kids did. It was something that was taken very seriously. So it was a huge influence on how I would look at art throughout my life. And I always knew that there was a place in the world for people to make art their job. And that idea was just stuck with me. And I started my own illustration studio, basically doing anything I could do around my home here in Hawaii, working with other small businesses, and just slowly, bit by bit, I started taking on a lot of different fun projects, like you said, painting murals, doing packaging designs, and now working on a children's book.
What a great inspiration for our young viewers with us today. Char, your art honors your heritage and the traditions of the land where you grew up. Please tell us about your Polynesian heritage and how the settings and the traditions of islander life are woven throughout your artwork.
I am Tongan. I was born and raised in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. But my ancestral lands are in Tonga. So although I wasn't able to be raised there, I still feel really fortunate to still have lived my whole life within Polynesia in the Pacific Ocean. So when it comes to creating artwork, it just inherently comes out no matter what I'm drawing. All the decisions I make are always related in the back of my mind, at least, to this beautiful world that I've grown up around.
Many of our viewers find connections to culture in stories and through food. In Punkialoa, Grandma's famous banana bread is a key part of the story. Tell us why you incorporated food into the story and how stories and food help children learn about their own and other people's cultures and communities.
Banana bread isn't necessarily a cultural food for Hawaiians, for Polynesians, but the banana certainly has some history with our culture. And for Pacific Islanders, for Polynesians, food and plants are just, they are our lives. When we were traveling over the oceans and establishing ourselves on our islands, we didn't have precious metals for which to build our homes and create our lives. We had plants and we had food from those plants. So the importance of the different plants that we've used to build our homes, make our clothes, have ceremony, our medicines, is, I can't put into words how important that relationship is for the Polynesians. So including that in the book and was kind of at the forefront of my mind, even though banana bread is just kind of a byproduct of the maya or the banana. I wanted to still feel that, feel that connection to food. And food is a direct way for us to kind of learn where we come from. That's something a friend of mine once said is, Shar, if you want to learn more about migration patterns for our people, for people around the world, follow the food. And I think that's a great way to see where people have come from, where they're going, and what their intentions are, is their relationship to plants and food.
Cheryl, Punky Aloha celebrates family, friendship, and food. We are so excited to hear the story you wrote about Brave Punky and to see how your beautiful illustrations bring her community to life. Please read the book now.
Punky Aloha, AuthorSharTuiasoa. Hi, I'm Punky. Punky Aloha. That's the nickname my grandma gave me. She is my best friend, and we do everything together. Grandma calls me her brave adventurer, which I am now, but I wasn't always. The truth is, I wasn't always brave. Making new friends, now that was hard. Don't believe me? Well, let me tell you about the time I had to go on a very important but very scary adventure. It all started with banana bread. And not just any banana bread. I'm talking about Grandma's famous fresh-baked bananas from the backyard, warm from the oven banana bread. Punky, we're out of butter, Grandma yells from the kitchen. If I know one thing, it's that you can't have Grandma's banana bread without butter melting right on top. Kimo's Market just happens to make the best butter on the island. I need you to pick up the butter today. I can't come this time, but you got this. Take these. You mean you want me to go alone? I cried. But if I go to the market, I'm sure to bump into someone new. And whenever I bump into someone new, I start to feel shy. Take these, Grandma says. They're my magical brave glasses for brave adventurers like you. Brave glasses? There's no such thing. How do they work? I ask. Just put these on anytime you feel nervous or shy, and they'll help you feel brave. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. I use them all the time. And Punky, you remember how we share our aloha? Be helpful, be giving, be brave. This is how we share our aloha, I recite. Well, all right, Grandma smiles. I know I gotta go. The banana bread depends on it, on me. But as soon as I step outside the gate, I hear a loud oink, 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 oink. A little help, please. I've got all these mangoes I need to take back to my family, the pig cries. I can feel the glasses working. I get just enough courage to remember. Helpful, giving, brave. Share your aloha, Punky. We can put the mangoes on my skateboard if you want, I say shyly. Wow, what you did was very helpful. Thank you so much, the mommy pig says as she nods to her piglets. One of them trots up to me and gives me a flower lei. I have a funny, warm feeling inside. Kind of like it. I thank them, grab my skateboard, and head for the market again. Then I hear bzz, 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 bzz. Oh, why are you so sad? I ask. I'm not very good at being a bee. I didn't collect any pollen for the hive, and I'm too embarrassed to go back empty-handed, the bee buzzes. I adjust my glasses and smile. Be helpful, be giving, be brave. Here, use my lei. It has plenty of pollen. Really? Thanks. Wait here, the bee says. Zzz. I don't have much to give you, but this honey is fresh, straight from the hive. Fresh, gooey honey, my favorite. I start to feel like making new friends doesn't have to be scary. In fact, it could be downright yummy. Maybe Grandma's brave glasses really are magic. When suddenly, Crash! Oh no, my glasses! Ouch, my knee! It looks like he needs my help. The glasses are gone, but I can still use my aloha. How's this? My grandma rubs honey on my scrapes to keep them clean, I say, and sometimes there's even extra. Yum. Wow, that really does help. Thank you. Punky, I'm Punky Aloha. I'm Kai, and I'm sorry about your glasses. That's okay. I don't think I need them anymore. Well, just in case, my dad might have some tape at his store. He owns the corner market. Wait, your dad is Chemo? Yeah, why? I giggle as we both jump on our skateboards and head to the market. Dad, this is my new friend. Bunky, Chemo says. Aloha, it was so kind of you to help Kai. That must have taken a lot of bravery. Look here, I have some fresh butter for your grandma. I know how much she loves this stuff. After I wave goodbye to my friends, I race home with the butter in my bag and my heart full of courage. Grandma, I went on a really big adventure. I made new friends by being brave and helpful, just like you told me. See, I'm so proud of you, my brave, punky aloha. Now, I don't know everything, but I do know this. That day, I became a brave adventurer. And it all started with fresh baked banana bread. The end.
Wow, thank you, Shar. That was lovely. And please tell us what inspired the themes of a brave adventure and helping others throughout this book as Punky heads out to Grandma's to get the butter for Grandma's banana bread.
Well, so much of Punky is really based on myself. I was also extremely adventurous. I was really shy. And I think that learning just that concept of aloha, right? Something that is very prevalent in Hawaiian culture, in Hawaii, is such an important lesson. I think that the whole world really could use. It represents, unity, kindness, humility, patience, so many things. And it's also something that is a two-way street, right? Sometimes you are giving aloha and you don't know it's gonna come back, but something does come back. So we're aloha each other, aloha ourselves and one another and the world around us. And I think that telling that story through Punky was something that I was really excited to do.
I'm so glad you brought up the aloha. I'd like to dive into that a little bit more. There is this wonderful mantra that's repeated as Grandma teaches Punky. And the words are be helpful, be giving, be brave. Please tell us about this saying and what it means to have their aloha serve as this reminder of how to treat others.
So much of our culture is really looking at plants, animals, land, ocean as equals to ourselves. So I think that aloha kind of encompasses that concept. In the book, right, she's talking to bees. I wanted to incorporate animals speaking, not just because it's fun to make animals talk, but because that's something that I wanted to show, that we don't just aloha the person in front of us. We don't just care about the people in front of us. We care and aloha the plants and the animals and the ocean and the land. And that's, again, a concept that I think that everyone in the entire world, you don't have to be from Hawaii, you don't have to be from the Pacific Island to grasp that concept.
Shar, your illustrations have such wonderful foliage that really transports readers to a Hawaiian island and helps them connect with Punky's community. Please help our viewers learn how to bring beautiful tropical flowers, palm trees, and ferns into their artwork.
So we're going to make a little vignette here, or a little corner motif of flowers, just using construction paper and crayons, thinking about like Punky Aloha's story, right? Trying to make friends. So that's the idea here. Can we be friends? Maybe make a little cute little bee flying from there. So we're gonna work in layers, right? That's the best way to kind of trick our eyes into seeing this really thick, lush area of plants. So we're gonna start off with the plants that are gonna go behind our little bush. We cut out a little bush here. It's just a very simple shape. I just went from the corner of a piece of construction paper and cut little bumps, and you can cut bumps however you want. Just cut it from the corner of a piece of colored paper. That's going to kind of act as our base and what grounds us. But because we want to have plants behind there, we're going to just draw them in right now. So Hawaii is full of like ferns and plants that kind of like almost like just like spring out like they're alive. So I like to make lines that feel like they're exploding. And ferns are super easy, or just ideas. They're ferns are just lines with a bunch of like ovals on them. And on the other side, same thing, just a bunch of ovals, super simple. You can even just do lines if you want. And it might not look like exactly what you see when you're looking at a fern, but this is our world. So we can make things look however we want. Another plant I think we will play around with over here is one of my favorites. And a native plant to Hawaii is our ohia. And ohia we'll start off with stems, right? And ohia plants, similar to the ferns, just a bunch of circles where their leaves are all little circles. So that makes it a lot easier. And ohia, they look like little pom-poms. I just do little half circles and lines. You can do them however you want though, you know. Again, this is our world and we can make our plants as simple as we want to. So we have our background. Now, name of the game is layering. So that's where we start adding things onto our little motif here. So I'm just going to glue on our bush. You know what? I feel like maybe I'll just add in some more plants just for fun. You can add as many things as you want to, really. And we put our bush right on top of it. So that bush pushes all of those fun plants back. And now if we want to think about, you know, let's make our bush, let's give it some texture. This is the fun part. You can do whatever you want. Sometimes I just like to look little dots on it because it makes it look fun. A big thing about making plants is everything can start from really simple shapes. I usually start with a circle and make little quarter circles. You can make something like this. Look, you put those to one single one of these, just repeated a few times, cut out one shape like this. It can be really any shape. Repeated a few times can make this really fun little flower here. So we're going to connect our little flower just piece by piece. And we're just going to put that right there. Now, as you can see, the bottom of that is not too cute. So I want to make a rock. I'm just going to cut a little half circle out. It's a rock. It's a red rock. It can be whatever I want it to be. And I'm just going to glue that over my plant and cover it. And look, oh, it's a nice little rock. And maybe I want to cut out, another little rock just because we want to keep layering. We've got our plants here. Now we want to tell a little story about it. So let's add a little character to it. Here I have just a little bee, but it's just a circle and a triangle to start off with. That's it, circle and a triangle. Right there. And then all I'm going to do is add stripes. Cute little dots. Maybe his little antennas. Little smile. Some wings. And cannot forget our little trail. And now we've got some action happening with our little foliage that we have here. And once you have that, this could be such a great way to show somebody that you care about them and that you love them, or that you're thinking about them On mine, I thought it would be fun to say, can we be friends? Maybe we make that and we give that to somebody who looks like they might need a friend, or looks like they need a smile for the day, or you can put somebody's name on it. But yeah, the possibilities I think are endless when you start playing with little shapes and just stacking them on each other, kind of create your own little world.
Sure, I love how your flowers and the ferns radiate energy and joy. Our viewers can have a lot of fun creating those kinds of tropical plants that you've demonstrated. Or they could look around the plants that are growing in their community, around their home, and use your tips to bring those trees and flowers into their artwork. Now let's explore the second art experience that celebrates food. There are so many special plants and fruits that grow in the area that your story is set in. And it sounds like you have a real treat in store for us, making a boat full of foods.
When the Polynesians were voyaging across the oceans and discovering new lands, new islands, they were taking with them on their canoes or their va'as, they were taking with them the most important plants that would sustain their culture and themselves. They used these plants for food, for medicine, for clothing, for homes, for so many things. So what I wanted to do was play into that idea of canoe plants, and we're going to build a va'a or a canoe, and we're going to fill it with some of my favorite canoe plants. There's about a couple dozen different canoe plants, but we're going to work with these three. So today we have a mai'a or a banana. As we know from the Punkialoha story, we made banana bread. So I thought it'd be really fun to include that in our va'a or our canoe. And we have an ulu, which is my favorite. An ulu is basically is a breadfruit. We call it mei in Tonga, but it's a breadfruit and it's extremely healthy. It's a superfood, if you will. And then, of course, the almighty kalo, or you know it maybe as taro. This is one of the most important foods to Hawaiian culture. They cultivate it like no one else. We could not do canoe foods or canoe plants without including the almighty kalo. So to start off our project, we need a background. So the sky, of course, it can be blue, but you know what? It's your world. You can make it any color that you want. I just chose blue because I think it's nice. And then we want to put our canoe on the ocean. So I've just taken like a regular square piece of cardboard paper, same size as our background. And I'm going to make a little ocean. I've already cut an ocean from before, but we're going to cut another ocean, which is just really just cut across the piece of paper like in little waves. You know, the ocean's moving. It's always moving. It's alive. You know, you come from Wana and it is alive and well. So there we go. Then we're going to glue on our ocean to our sky, just to set a nice like backdrop so that we can tell that we are voyaging in the ocean. So I really just took this piece of paper, this cardboard piece or construction piece of paper, and I cut just a little like sliver, a little half circle right from the paper. I just little half circle right here, right along the edge. And that gives us the base of our boat. Now, when we apply this to our ocean, we are only going to glue just the little half circle part of it. Just this little rounded edge, not the straight edge, just the rounded edge. That's it. We'll put that right in our ocean. It's a happy little va'a. How cute. Now we need to make our sail. The sail, again, is super easy, right? The name of the game is simplicity. So we're just going to cut a diagonal right across the corner of our paper. You can make it as big or as little as you want. But there you have it. That's our sail. And we're going to glue this right down. Whole back of it is going to be glued. It's going to be flat against our background. so fun to think about like the adventures that my ancestors went on and how brave they had to have been to just embark onto the deep open ocean, not really knowing for sure what to expect, but at the same time being completely prepared. Now we're going to get into making our canoe plants. We'll start off with our banana. So all of these, every single one of these canoe plants I'm going to show you how to make can start with a rectangle. So for the banana, we're just going to cut out a little half circle. See? Simple as that. And on the other way around. It doesn't have to be clean, it can be sloppy. And then to make this not look like a moon, we're just going to cut the edges flat, flat. That's it. And then we're going to embellish it a little bit. If you want, put some lines on it just to give some texture. And then like the ends of it, our banana's got these little nice ends. Now we've got our banana. Our ulu, start with a rectangle, and I cut a big oval. Now my ulus are like, they're bumpy little guys. That's kind of like the fun part about them. You don't have to do that. I went around my oval and cut little things, little wavy lines to make it look bumpy. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. But that is what I did for mine. I made little wavy lines on the edges. And then I just embellished it with something to bring out the texture. For me, that was just making a whole bunch of little circles with my crayon. Any crayon color that's a little bit lighter than that green, white even. I am using this neon crayon. This is a super fun little box that I got from Crayola. And the colors are just like super bright, vibrant and fun. So right there, now we've got 2 canoe plants ready to go. And then we're gonna get into making our hollow, which is right here. And it looks difficult, it's super not. So key to this, work with our rectangle. We're gonna cut our little edges on the top, cut off these little corners. And then we're gonna come right down the middle and cut a little triangle. And then just round out our corners again. And then come to these bottom edges and we're gonna go in again. Super simple. Now, hollow leaves are kind of wavy on the side, but again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you do, it's just, a couple waves, that's it. And it gives our hollow some shape. But again, this is your world, you cut it how you want. And then we're going to attach just a simple little stem to the back. And we have our hollow. We can embellish it how we want. If you want to add some designs on there, but you have it. You have your base for your canoe, and now you can fill it with the canoe plants that the Polynesians used to voyage across the ocean. And I think a really fun thing to do might be to think about what it was like to be like the Polynesians, or think of if you were going to set out on the ocean, what kind of fruits and things would you put into your va'a or your canoe and create them, cut them out, and then stick them in? What would you take on your journey out to the ocean?
Wow, that is beautiful. I learned so much from that art experience. And what a great challenge to think about what foods are so important to each of us that, given the opportunity, we would pack them up in a canoe and take them to grow in a new area, new land. So wonderful experience. Thank you. As the young artists are busy working on their drawings, I want to share a special message to the teachers and parents who are with us. You can enjoy more colorful, fun learning experiences like this one by signing up to receive the Crayola Education free monthly e-newsletters. You will receive updates on the next Art of Learning session and all of our other fun programs delivered right to your email box. Shar, I love how you brought the beauty of your homeland and the traditions that are important in your life into this book. The story helps kids see what they have in common with brave Punky and what is unique to her. Before we close this session, what last bit of advice do you want to share with children and their teachers and families who have joined us today?
What I'd love for everyone to take away from this is not only being able to overcome your fears of meeting new people and trying new things, but I would encourage everyone to always be on the lookout for everything, everyone around you, and think of ways that you can show kindness to them, how you can help the people around you, even if sometimes you might not get something in return, but how can you help one another? I think if we all continue to think like that, the world will be a better place.
We want to thank AuthorSharTuiasoa for inspiring us today. And we want to thank Harper Kids for publishing Shara's wonderful book. And a special thanks for everyone who's joined us today. Together, we celebrate the art of learning.
Aloha.
Thank you. Bye-bye.